Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back, Don's Hot Rod Garage. Big Don with you. Um, been messing with the 55 Chevy Convertible a little bit here and there as I find time in the evenings or on the weekends when I guess the stars align. We was as this year started off, we had some really nice weather. Even kind of got into the 60s a little bit, and it was amazing. Maybe even a day in the 70s, and then it just dropped out. Like this morning, the high was 21 degrees, so I guess we're starting back over again. But I went through and have done a couple things to the convertible, and then I started buying some parts for it, so we'll check out some of the progress on it. So it's interesting that the front not the suspension, the front sheet metal like has all these rubber bushings that I never even knew. Like these bolt to your to your firewall, to the legs coming down on the firewall. So I knew that it had these little rubber bushings, but some of them's kind of deteriorated. And then one of them, I was even missing the little metal pin that goes through it. So I figured, well, what the heck, we'll just buy some new ones. And then once I started looking at the package, there's all these different bigger grommets. And I was researching it like online on the different like shop manuals for 55 Chevy, and it just said to add a shim, but it didn't really give you a good description. But if you can believe it, this is where your fender bolts to your firewall, and look, it's got rubber. So your fender bolts to the rocker panel, and then it would take a rubber bushing I thought that was pretty interesting. And even at the top where the fender bolts to your firewall, it takes rubber in between of it. They call it a washer or spacer, and you can see it clearly says convertible, several different areas. But do you believe that? It takes rubber. You tighten your fender up against the rubber, up against the rocker panel. So I guess the whole nose is meant to just flex a little bit. And I got that black Camaro that I got, that 96 SS, still had the skip shift in it, where if you was driving slow, you know, taking off from a light, it would force you from first gear, number one gear, to fourth gear. So you put that little piece in there, and then you can shift it like a traditional stick shift. And then these are all the hardware for the valve covers. And I was like looking through all my random junk, and I was only able to come up with just a couple of them, a couple of the original ones. So I just went ahead and bought the new set. Then I stopped down at the parts store to try to get valve cover gaskets for this thing, and I was there for like 25 minutes. And they ended up not having the valve cover gaskets for a Chevy small block. And so I would love to put the valve covers, secure them to the engine, but don't have the valve cover gaskets yet. And I got to clean this up. It's in real tough shape, but this is the shorter bracket for the early style carburetor on that car. And this would be one for the newer style carburetor. So I'm slowly trying to get everything organized. And I thought about even just cutting one of these down because it's in better shape. You know, this one's got a little bit of pitting on it. I thought about cutting this one down and retapping it, but I think I might just fix that one up. So I'll show you what I have done on this car. we was doing some cleaning and got a new washer and dryer, and we went through all the cabinets, and I found this thing. I remember buying this brand new in like probably 1990, and I never opened it. It's got the grave digger. So, but this is what I've been able to do so far to the car since I got it inside. I took the intake off of it and resprayed it. It's cast aluminum color to give it that cool look. And then these valve covers, another friend, a fellow YouTuber, sent me them. Dan's Trifive Garage. Just kind of a little bit tight on space, trying to walk through, not step on the bumper. So I went through and like I said, I cleaned and redid the intake, and then it's actually secured down to the motor now. Before it was just sitting on there. And on one of my last videos, you could see where sitting outside had just really started to take its toll on this car in just a short period of time. So I brought it back in here, and I got that secured down, and I went through and reset all the valves on it again. I mean, it's never even been fired, so the valves are a little loose, and the reason, you can tell it's cold, you can see the heat of my hand on that chrome. It's probably only 32 degrees right now, and we're getting ready to go into April. It's a trip. But these 265s had a weird oiling system that kind of was based off the distributor a little bit. There's a notch in the distributor, so I kept all my valves a little loose, just so, because I tried to prime the engine, but you can only get it to prime so much unless, you know, it's actually running with that distributor. Like most small blocks, you can put an oil pump prime shaft in the back and it'll prime the engine, which I did to this, but I don't know how well it primed all the lifters, because a lot of the lifters are supplied from the different type of oiling system that's only on a 55 and a 56 265. In 57 they upgraded the oiling system to the more modern one. So all the valves are slightly loose in it right now. I mean, they're close. I just wanted to give the lifters a chance to pump up when it fires. And then I ordered all the new little fittings that come off here, because it's going to have that oil canister up here. I ordered all the new lines. So piece by piece, I'll get the valve covers secured down. I might just order the valve cover gaskets off eBay. You know, these parts stores are a rip-off anymore. I think they want $35 for the valve covers, and I can get them from eBay for 30 bucks shipped. Or not 30, $14 shipped. You know, and I've already wasted 30 minutes of my life standing down there. It's a funny thing, because I got 3 part stores like right across the street from each other, and if you're coming to get something for this, you might as well forget about it. They're not going to have it. So the next thing I'm probably going to do, once I get the valve covers squared away on it, I'm probably going to maybe buy a different water pump, because the one that come off this engine's really pitted inside, and I don't know how well that's going to work out. But I got to get the water pump on there, and I definitely got to get the oil canister on there, because without that, it's going to leak out of here. And I could plug that, but it's going to leak out of here and that fitting back there, because the oil comes out, goes into the oil can or the remote oil filter, and then once it's filtered, it goes back in there. Because this is a real 55 265 engine. It doesn't have the filter on it, but it certainly looks way better than it did when I first pulled it in here. I mean, I just got so bummed out when I popped the hood and the aluminum valve covers was all corroded up, and the intake, and I mean everything. You know, you can see on here, look at them screws back there. That's just moisture. And then I got to go through and clean this. This is the capillary tube. That's actually the temperature gauge. So, but I'll probably work on that gas pedal Get the gas pedal set up, just piece by piece as I get time for it, and I put the generator on there. I'll get that cleaned up as well. So but that's what I've been doing off and on when I got time. I've been working on this convertible a little bit, just trying to get pieces here and there. You know, years ago they would say this car is going to nickel and dime you to death, but not no more. This car is going to 100,000 you to death. Everything you buy for it, it's insane. And here's all the stuff for the remote oil filter. See, it's got all the little special fittings. I mean, it's actually really cool. You could still get this stuff for a car that's rapidly approaching 70 years old, but it's going to come with a fee. Oh man, I should have showed you what I was talking about, where these bolt up, basically at the front fender, where the fender. Yeah, just give me a minute. I know we're going backwards, but sometimes in life you got to go backwards to go forward. Yeah, right up in here. Ain't that something? So basically, if we take a step back, where the fender attaches there, down at the bottom, and then even the core support is supposed to just be able to, I guess, just give just a little bit on a convertible. It's crazy how they come up with that type of stuff years ago. Like, when you think about it, does this car really need to have the front end move just a little bit from the body? I don't know. That's what they say. And when I looked in the service manual, it just said a shim, you know. A shim is not what this is. This would, in my mind, be a little rubber bushing. So I'll keep working on it here and there. And this is the water pump that was on the engine, and it's just awful pitted inside there, and it might be able to be hot tanked out. I don't know. See, this looks pretty rough in there, because I was going to take this all apart and rebuild it, and I could actually buy the short water pump for a pretty decent price, but I kind of wanted to have the original style on there, because this right here where it's flat is 1955 and 56, and then 57 almost has a little landing here where they started to, some of them had a plug for a bypass hose, but 55 and 56 is smooth at the top. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with that. And then everything, it's just crazy. Everything, like, I'm gonna have to body work this, you know. I mean, I tried to find a better one on eBay, but you can find like an NOS one for 500, and I'm just not really feeling like giving up 500 for one of them. So I'll get it sandblasted or do something with it and body work it up, I guess. But I need this on the engine to make it run, and it all takes time to get all that stuff straightened back out to where it's actually usable. It's clean inside, but this is going to be another problem down here. You know, cleaning up all that down in there, actually on both sides of it, right? Have to flap disc it and see how well it cleans up, and use a lot of silicone, I guess. And then I started taking the inner fenders, stripping them down, because I think I'm going to get them sandblasted, and this is the vacuum tank for power brakes. So yeah, I've basically been doing a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, there's the valve covers that come off that engine. But that's a small update. I'm really hoping this weather will break here soon and be able to get out here a little bit more often. It's like when the weekend rolls around, you know, you get a couple days off and you kind of get excited, and then it was snowing. I was like, man, I thought we was past the snow, but I don't know. Around here, you're never really past until you're past, I guess. And it's like a little chilly right now. So anyways, and the cars are all still here. I haven't done nothing with them yet. Probably never will. I'll probably just find a spot for them. We'll see how it goes. So anyways, might even start this up. Weekend's coming up, just let it run. But that's a small update on what has been getting done. I mean, I feel good about the intake being bolted down and setting the valves. I just got to keep buying parts, keep throwing money at it, I guess, because I really want to get that engine fired up, and then we can work on what's next. Try to get it fired up, then do the brakes on it, and it looks cool, but that car still needs a ton of work. Just kind of how it is. Well, anyways, thanks for stopping by Don's Hot Rod Garage. I appreciate each and every one of you. Catch you guys on the next video.